Hello everybody, and thank you for clicking onto our video. And welcome to our humble abode of Blue Collar Lacrosse, the proud makers of Marc Mesh. This is the first of a series of stick stringing videos that Blue Collar Lacrosse will be producing, sharing stringing tips and the Leveille's extensive knowledge of how they string sticks. With us today we have Marc Leveille, the inventor of Marc Mesh, the first mesh ever made for lacrosse. We have Joel Leveille. Joel has strung more sticks for pros than any other stringer on earth in the last 5 years. And we are honored to have with us today longtime Buffalo Bandit and the most prolific scorer in box lacrosse ever, John Tavares. How many seasons have you played for the Bandits, John?
Well, thank our math teacher. I think it's about 22 now, 22 or 23, I'm not sure.
Unbelievable. 22 is a good lacrosse number. Well, we sincerely appreciate you helping us to kick off this series of videos, and it's only fitting we should start with one of the game's greatest. Sometimes Johnny wins with skill, other times he wins with will. But one thing you're guaranteed is that Johnny always comes to play. So John, at what age did you first pick up a stick in your hand, and what influenced you to play lacrosse?
I was about 4 years old. My brother Danny played for St. Christopher House, which was an organization downtown Toronto. We had an outdoor lacrosse box, and I just took his stick and I just would go to the box and throw the ball around, and been doing that since I was 4.
Do you recall if you took to the game right away, or was it something that you had to work on?
A little bit of both. I worked on my game all the time. I was at the box literally every summer day of the every summer day, any warm day, any day I could throw the ball around, I'd be there. And I took to the game, but I also worked hard to become the player that I am. So I'd say a combination of both.
So you mentioned you're a teacher. What subject do you teach, and what grades?
This semester I'm teaching grade 10 and grade 11 mathematics.
Now, when we say you're the most prolific scorer in all time of lacrosse, goals and assists, that's pretty much an understatement, as you are 30% greater than the closest person to you in those totals. Would you say your love of math and statistics is something that plays any sort of factor in your success?
I would say no, not at all. I had no clue I was 30% higher than anybody else. But if you did the games played, I'm probably more than 30% higher than everybody else, and age too.
Oh, okay, so you're putting it in ratio. So there isn't much you haven't done in lacrosse, including NLL championships, Man Cups. What is a favorite memory of yours about lacrosse?
Memories, well, I mean, a lot of different memories. One obviously comes to mind as championships. Is definitely my first of all was, believe it or not, Junior B Founders Cup, playing out in Nova Scotia, and we beat the Edmonton Miners, and that was my first national championship. So I would say that game. And then 1992 was a good year for me, scoring the winning goal in the championship game for Buffalo's first season. That was in Philadelphia in overtime, and that same year we won the Man Cup as well.
That's awesome. So this is a unique year, given that you are going to be coached by not only a player that you played with, but the same player that by the measuring stick of total points, you two are the greatest 1-2 combo ever to play the game of box lacrosse. What's it going to be like to be coached by Troy this season?
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Troy and I used to be really good friends when we played. Drifted apart, he's become a coach and I've continued playing. So we haven't really communicated much over the last few years because he's became, a close enemy, being the coach for Toronto, me playing in Buffalo. But it's nice having him on board. He's done a good job in both Calgary and Toronto, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings to the table in Buffalo as well.
Now you switched to Marc Mesh in 2008, winning the scoring title that year with teammate Mark Steinhaus, both of you scoring 51 goals each. After using traditional for 16 years of pro lacrosse, what was it about Marc Mesh that made you switch?
A couple of things actually. I'm a bit older, being 45. Obviously, don't have the same time I have to work in a traditional stick. The Marc Mesh allows me to just pick up a stick and use it pretty much immediately. And I found that with the mesh stick, it gives me a harder shot, and something I never really had in my repertoire. So it was nice having a bit of a harder shot. And those two, it's a big factor in part of my success in the later part of my career.
That's awesome. So you have driven through the rush hour traffic to get here and have your stick strung by Joel. What would you like Joel to do with your stick today? How do you like your stick to throw?
Well, I'm really picky with my stick. It does take me a while to get my stick going, but once I have it, I don't like to change my stick. I think a lot of people out there, or a lot of my teammates, they're always bugging me about how many sticks I go through, but that's usually at the beginning of the season. I hate going through many sticks. Once I have one, I don't like to change. So what I look for in the stick is a stick that's it's very accurate in my shooting in all different angles. So I need a stick that can shoot accurately from an overhand, a 3/4 shot, and a sidearm shot, and also successful where I can feel the ball so I can fake as well. Generally, I like a more of a shallow pocket so I can pass the ball quickly. I like my pocket up higher in the stick, and nothing too fancy. You know, just kind of keep it simple and make sure the ball goes where I'm aiming.
Now, you've represented Canada 3 times now at the Men's World Lacrosse Field Championships. Is there anything you do different with your box stick versus a field stick?
Not really. I really don't change it. I just use the same stick from box to field when I do play field lacrosse.
Awesome. So let's hand the stick off to Joel and see what he has in store for us.
It's a magic in the Joel. Yeah.
But we're not trying to do that. We're going to educate kids on how to string it and why, you know, someone like John Tavares, why he does what he does, why, you know, and then all of a sudden I truly believe it's just going to help the game grow better.
I agree.
Because, you know, the more your little guy can be successful with the game,
Yeah.
the more he'll want to play it.
Yeah, we agree.
You know, it was the same thing when, like you just talked about, when you were 4 years old at the rink. The reason why you were doing it was because you were successful. We were having fun doing it, right? If all of a sudden you're dropping the ball, and not throwing it, I give this up, right? I'm done. But all of a sudden when you're doing all the great things, it'll just grow. How do you like the targets?
Yeah, they're awesome.
They're good, eh? They hold the ball pretty good, eh?
They're really good. We've been using them on Wednesdays. So,
Did you get your second 2?
no.
No? Okay, take those with you today.
We have enough.
Oh yeah, well, absolutely.
We have 2 nets, 2 targets.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The kid like him?
My kid loves them. He's like, I said, Justin, we're going to get a goalie. And he goes, okay, put the targets behind the goalie. Are you going to do them both the same, Joe?
Yeah. Well, they're a little different stick. Like this has a lot more
Yeah.
holes on the side, but yeah, I'll have the same sort of pocket in it. So if you can see now, like we'll pull this tighter, so the ball sits like right there, and you can see how it's kind of channeled in here. Got the V in there.
Yeah. See, I was thinking if this was tight,
Yeah.
it would come out better.
Yeah. Well, that's why I didn't want to do too tight because the other one is channeled a lot more than that,
Okay.
and it would be saying it's hooked.
It hooks a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with 3 shooters in this. So the shooters will just stop about here.
Okay.
So the ball will just sit right in that channel. Like you can see the diamond, grab it there.
Is
I'll
that,
sit right
is
there.
that the one that was strung up?
Yeah, this is the one that was strung up.
The other one's different.
Yeah, the other one's a little different. Alright, so Johnny likes his ball sitting up top so he can fake, and he likes the ball to sit right up there so it's a quick release. So I have the pocket going up higher so it sits right underneath the shooters. I have a little bit of a channel in there so it holds it a little bit. Just a small channel just up top here to hold it in there. And the pocket forces the ball to sit up higher, and that's about it. And I throw 3 shooters in there. Generally goes 3. You can throw a 4th one in there to lower it down a little bit, but more or less we're going to try 3 for now. I made a new top string, just so you know. I did this for Ganesh. So I did it for my stick a while ago, and what it does is it reduces that lip out there. Because you know how when you fold it over, it almost like bulks it up there, right?
Yeah.
Now I string it through so it sits on this diamond. That diamond is never broken yet, but you don't feel that
Coming off. Yeah.
tick anymore. Or yeah.
Okay, Johnny, so what do you think from first look? I know you haven't had a chance to throw with it yet.
I mean, looking at it, looks very pretty, but sometimes that's not good enough. So the first thing I do is I put the ball in, and before I even throw it, I kind of like to cradle it with my stick pointing down, just kind of see if I can feel it. So I like to extend my arms when I play like this, so I want to be able to feel that ball. So far, so good. I can feel it in there. Next thing I like to do is maybe throw it against the wall. Just kind of see if it comes out where I want it. I pick a brick on the wall or a spot on the wall, and so far it feels really good. Next stage is I need to throw it at the net.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure I can throw it as hard as possible and it goes where I want to. So right now I'm liking it a lot.
Right on, Johnny. Well, we got a question for you, given you're a math teacher. All right, during the Thanksgiving holidays, a turkey leaves the kitchen at 3:30 p.m., traveling 1.25 miles an hour. Given there are only 2 drumsticks and one of those goes to Mr. Tavares, your dad, if the second drumstick is placed on the table an equal distance from both John Tavares Sr. and John Tavares Jr., who will get their fork in there first?
Well, I'm going to say that John Tavares Jr. is going to get it because his arms are much longer than mine, and he definitely has a bigger appetite. John could eat a lot of food, and he's definitely not shy at the table.
Right on, John. Well, we thank John for coming by and for being the first in a series of stick stringing videos from Blue Collar Lacrosse. Good luck this season.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
And thank you to the viewer once again for tuning in. We hope that we hope this has provided you with some good stringing tips and a chance to know John Tavares better and how he likes to have his stick throw. To learn more about Blue Collar Lacrosse and Marc Mesh, or how you can get a stick strung by Joel, please go to our website at www.bclax.com. If you would like to make a comment or observation, please email us at info@bclax.com. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in again.
Alright, so we just finished John Tavares' stick here, strung it up. So to go through what I did here is Johnny likes a high pocket, so he wants the ball to sit right underneath the shooters. So I strung it up so the ball sits right about here, just underneath the shooters. I go 3 shooters because he likes the ball to sit really high, so it gives it a quick release, easy handling. I strung a little bit of a channel in here, just a little tight right up here, so the ball sits literally right there, gives it a nice tight hold right there. I strung up a new top string that I came up with about 2 years ago. A lot of the pro guys like it. It reduces bulkiness up there. I cut some of the diamonds out so it looks pretty too.